All right, guys, we're just finishing up getting set up here, and we are going to let 8 o'clock hit, and then we'll jump into it. So you'll see us talking and stuff in the background, but I'm going to have us muted. All right, here we are. Is everybody ready? Is everybody ready for this?
Welcome to the Outcast Haven YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, why? If it's not, you'll know Dane cannot edit me because we are live and I will make mistakes and flubber. But we just want to say thank you to everybody who joined us. Thank you to all our subscribers, our non-subscribers, and especially thank you to Legend Story Studios to allow us to give you this preview today.
Yeah, so we're
Dane?
we're gonna just swap right into it. We're not gonna waste you guys' time, but would love we're gonna kind of go off on. There was just a whole bunch of more spoilers that came out, but yeah, Jason's cracking her right now. See what she is. I'm excited. I want to see what's.
You can
this.
see it, yeah. The envelope that we've had for a week. Oh, wow. It looks like the mat matches. We have a match, but it says Monarch, and
God,
it looks completely different. What a beautiful mat.
That is a dope.
Oh, look at this. I'm not going to read the card right now because we'll get right to the spoilers, but I'll just set that right here. That's amazing. And we have a majestic light illusionist action. Dane, pull her up. Blake, why don't you tell us what it is?
Yeah, so it's wow, this is a tough one. So just so everyone's clear, this is the first time I'm seeing it. I haven't seen it either. So it's a Herald of Erudition. Is that sound right to you guys? Is that how you would read it?
Yeah, I would say
Erudition. Erudition. All right. So it's a 2-cost, 2-pitch, and 5 damage, 3 block attack. It has Phantasm, the new keyword. Also has Dominate, and then it says if it hits, put it into your hero soul and draw 2 cards. That is that's bonkers. That's absolutely that's so good. Like, oh man. Wow. Yeah. That's hype train, baby. And the art is like all this art and illusionist, the art is stunning.
I've got
absolutely
the card
stunning.
full screen, Jason, so I can't see what you're holding up.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
What is it? So we know.
We got a I just got the foil and the non-foil version in my hands.
Ooh.
And you can see the shimmer and the shine and the non-shimmer and the shine.
Let's show that for a second here.
And then my beautiful face right in between it.
Right in the middle. You can cover that up. You got a third one there you can just cover up.
So first off, me and Dane knew about this for a week. Yeah. And it's been a hard week of one, if for everybody that doesn't know this, Blake took the vow of celibacy and did not learn this spoiler until this moment with the rest of you. So hats off to Blake. I had zero time for that. I wanted to know immediately. Yeah. And when Dane and me, we finished up the podcast last Friday, looking at it and to see that we had an illusionist, like we were so amped.
We lost our minds.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God,
unbelievable.
Now we can't say anything. Everyone's like, light wizard. And we're just like,
yep. Just exited out of all conversations immediately. Yeah. So I think this card really fits. I mean, for what Prism's trying to do, this card adds a lot to it. Just with the whole dominate. The dominate's really huge.
Yeah.
In this card, and with a lot of the cards with hand knowledge, I mean, this you can get some big swings in. Plus, it's a 2-cost. You can pummel it. And if you didn't know, and I'm sure this has been seen elsewhere, but you get the flavor text on the foil and no instruction on what Phantasm is. So they are completely different in the text box. Much cleaner on the the foil version. Just says Dominate and Phantasm in the text box right there versus it separated on the actual one,
having the
which is really
description and
cool.
everything.
All right, let's talk about
Really,
this.
really like that.
Let's talk about what this card means, because I am super excited, because when we first looked at it, you know, I had my thoughts about it. Like, I think our first discussion was talking about how I thought that this was going to be like a really toolboxy deck. Like, I thought there's going to be different key phrases like, or keywords like Phantasm that were going to cause different illusions to break differently, and it was going to be really toolboxy. So I thought it was going to be like, this is like, these are the 6 to 8 cards that you really want to run into Bravo and Brute, and these are going to be the 6 to 10 cards you really want to run into Ninja, because this illusion breaks with attacks that have a 2 or less power. But like, seeing this now, there's so much happening. So like, this card allowing you to charge your soul and draw 2 cards, I thought that, okay, so maybe there's going to be like Go Again or something like that. But with all these instants, like, that basically is like a fire off and free instant. Because it's like, okay, you don't have Go Again, but now you get to, you know, fire off a free instant. Like, it's just, with what's been spoiled, this card excites me more than just like the initial excitement from seeing it.
Yeah, I think there's with all the instances that are happening in the cost curve of the deck, I think being able to put this out there, in a lot of ways, like, this deck is going to demand some serious reconsideration of deck building from some decks, because if you don't have any 6 attacks, or you just have, you know, like 3, you're right, you just run Command and Conquer, like, you could just absolutely get mowed down by these Phantasm cards, because they're big and they're powerful and they're hard to defend, and they're so problematic. Because again, I think the biggest thing is, this is one of those things where this is like a great combination of like a Bravo and an Azalea effect, where you get the best of both worlds, right? Because it's like, it's a dominated attack, but then you have that Azalea effect where it doesn't have to hit a certain amount. It's just if it hits. So you're demanding that people block all 5 of it. Otherwise, you're getting the effect, which is insane.
Yeah, like, this card is getting blocked. This card, worth noting, is pummelable. I don't know if pummel is a card you actually run, but it is there for an option. Just looking at the cost curve of the deck, I don't know how efficient that would be. But I mean, maybe if you're running a ton of blues, and then
you're going to be running a lot of blues, it's going to be a blue deck. So you never know what how that's going to play out. I mean, I think it's worth testing a pummel or 2. See what happens.
I think it's more, and actually Chris kind of nailed it in the comments. He said Blinding Light's going to be a huge help. Like, yeah, like, my thing is that Illusionist has so many answers to making sure their Phantasm is successful. Like, they've got Blinding Light. They had that rules clarification where Blinding Light does, you know, there is a window for it to trigger after they block with a card. You've got your Dreamweavers, which just straight up is a turn where you get rid of Phantasm and it can't gain it. So that instant that, or attack reaction or instant that gives it the +5 and gets rid of Phantasm, can't gain Phantasm. Like, that is going to be huge. Like, there's so many. Or no, it's +5 and it gains Phantasm, but paired with the Dreamweavers, it's basically just a +5, which is gross. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot happening and a lot of ways to enable like this deck to hit when it really needs to hit and put on pressure. So yeah.
I want to. I'm gonna read the card quickly that was sent from Legend Story Studios. It says, Outcast Haven. When war darkens the horizon and all hope seems lost. This is kind of how Dane feels when me and Blake start in on the podcast. Rejuvenate your soul with the blessings of the light. Let your courage and devotion illuminate the path to victory. God, they write some great stuff on there.
Yeah. They do. Yep.
Absolutely amazing. Beautiful card. The foil, it's one of those things that once you see it in person, and personally from set to set, the foiling has got so much better every set, and the way it just hits it so good. The light, the way it comes off there, it's amazing how better the foiling gets from each set with these cards. So very excited for that.
Yeah. I mean, is there much else we want to hit on, or we just leave it short and sweet?
I mean, we can leave it short to sweet, but I do think if you're watching this, please join us for our weekly
Oh,
podcast
yeah.
every Friday. And we
Let's
have some
do.
amazing guests this week.
Yeah, we did.
Amazing guests.
I was going to shout that out. So we had Matt Rogers, Nick Butcher on. If you haven't listened to the podcast yet, definitely check that out because one, they're spearheading this amazing Cancer Society charity drive, and it's going to be a 2-week event. It's going to be a global thing. They're going to do the pairing through Discord, so you're going to have 48 hours to match with whoever you're paired with around the world to sync up your timelines. They've got awesome prizing. They've got like cases of first edition Monarch for prizing. They've got one of a kind, like officially they'll have a certificate of authenticity from James White from LSS saying that this is the one playmat that exists in the world. So if you want to participate in any way, go into the description and of that video of our podcast for this week. Check out those links. At the very least, please check out the Facebook page because it's super awesome. But yeah, follow us every Tuesday. We're jamming games. This last Tuesday was our first foray into Monarch cards. We actually play tested with what was available at the time, and I can guarantee you this Tuesday we're all excited to dig back into the new Monarch cards as they're revealed at that point. So yeah, would love to have any new people that have joined us for this keep following along.
Yeah, we're going to start jamming the new decks. And I think we'll probably have some more gameplay videos as we test, because there's going to be a lot of testing in these, especially I know personally I'm going to be running Chain's going to be my first main deck. Blake and Dane are hot on Herald of Erudition, Miss Prism, so it should be some fun. You'll see some different stuff, and we'll see if we can make a good deck eventually after a lot of testing.
Dude, all these Herald cards too, if you guys are watching and you haven't seen the new spoilers, like 5 of them just came out, and they're all the different Heralds. Just adds so much. It's exactly what I was hoping. Like all of them do slightly different things, but have the Phantasm keyword. There's a Herald that is it makes every attack that blocks this attack have 1 less power. So it's just making that breaking Phantasm that much harder. There's one that like it just adds a lot more. That's the toolboxy thing that I was thinking.
Yeah.
So
that one was nailed perfectly too, because that one's the Herald of Triumph. So just like that, just like knocking someone down and going over top is amazing. And they're given ways to get cards into the soul and the specialization and stuff. It's just it's super solid. Like all the things that they're giving the deck to just be able to push its forth. I do love the theme of just like all these heralds that the illusionist is calling forward as its attacks. It's so well themed, as always is the case.
It feels
LSS.
like illusionists should feel too, right? Like they break under the right circumstances, but they're horrifying if you don't have the will to fight against them, which is perfect.
The power of the the power of the auras that you have to kind of fight through the auras to try and get actually to the illusionist, or just allow the auras to like take control of you while you try to kind of like fight through the mud of these illusions that are being thrown your way that are protecting the illusionist. And it's like it's so well themed and so well constructed as a deck. It's absolutely spectacular. So
yeah, Blake and I are of the same mind, regardless of amazing, terrible, or somewhere in between. Like this is the deck that we're starting the set on, so we're gonna push her.
Yep, we're going for it.
Awesome. Thank you everybody for joining us this evening. Short and sweet, to the point.
Yeah,
got to see the amazing, majestic 4 Prism.
Yeah, and we'll be throwing that spoiler up on our Facebook page too, so that can get shared around and all that jazz. So enjoy. You guys have a good rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of the spoiler season.